For a lot of us, it can feel like this huge, complicated challenge, right? But what if I told you there's a really simple, super powerful strategy that makes it all, well, a lot clearer? Today, we're going to demystify one of the most effective ways to invest, and all it takes is one simple idea: the jungle. All right, if you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, please make it this. This one sentence right here is the key to everything we're about to unpack. Seriously, it's the core idea behind a strategy that has totally changed the game for millions of people. So, to really get this, I want you to picture the entire stock market as a massive, dense, and kind of unpredictable jungle. It's just filled with thousands and thousands of different trees, and they're all fighting for sunlight. You know, some are going to grow incredibly tall and strong, and, well, others might just wither away. Now, for the longest time, the old school way of investing was what I like to call the one banana problem. It's like somebody sends you into this huge jungle and says, all right, your job is to find the one perfect banana tree, the one single stalk that's going to give you the most fruit. No, really, think about it. You're standing there, looking at thousands upon thousands of trees. How on earth are you supposed to choose? Which one's got the best soil, the most sunlight, the least chance of getting some weird bug? It's completely overwhelming. It's a high-stress guessing game. And that, right there, is the classic challenge of trying to pick individual stocks. And this really lays out the two paths you can take. On the one hand, you've got all the risk and stress of trying to pick that one tree. Your entire success is riding on a single, really difficult guess. But on the other side, you see a totally different way of thinking. It's simpler. It's systematic. And honestly, it's a much more relaxed way to go. So, what is this better way? Well, the solution is to just stop trying to pick one tree and instead own the whole jungle. This is the big aha moment. This is the powerful strategy we call index fund investing. You're not betting on any single tree to succeed anymore. You're investing in the growth of the entire ecosystem. And here's how that actually works. When you buy an index fund, you're buying a tiny, tiny little piece of every major company in a market index, something like the S&P 500. So you basically own a small sliver of the entire forest. Now, if some trees don't do so hot, it's okay because you're benefiting from the overall growth of the jungle as a whole. So how does this actually work in the real world? What are the financial principles, the rules of the jungle, that make this strategy so darn effective? Well, it really boils down to two key concepts that you need to know. First up is a word you've probably heard before: diversification. It's kind of a fancy term for don't put all your eggs in one basket, or in our case, don't put all your bananas on one tree. It's the technical name for our big idea: owning a piece of every tree. By spreading your investment out, you massively lower your risk because one failure won't sink your whole ship. Let's just put that in jungle terms. Let's say our jungle has 500 big trees in it, representing the 500 largest US companies. Now imagine one of those companies, let's call it the Monkey Company, has a really bad year and totally fails. Well, that's a bummer for sure, but you're still invested in the other 499 trees that are probably doing just fine. See, your risk is just beautifully spread out. Okay, the second rule of the jungle is what's called passive investing. This is the simple, hands-off part of the equation. Instead of constantly trying to outsmart the market, guessing which trees are going to be winners and which are going to be losers, which means you're always buying and selling, you just buy your slice of the whole jungle and you hold on. You're basically trusting in the long-term growth of the forest. So when you put these two powerful ideas together, owning everything and then doing pretty much nothing, you get a strategy that has proven over and over to be incredibly powerful for the average person. So let's just quickly recap exactly why owning the jungle is so often the winning move. So what's the big advantage here? Let's tick them off. First, like we said, it spreads your risk way out so you aren't wiped out by one company's bad news. Second, it is so simple and hands-off, you're not spending your nights and weekends researching stocks. Third, your success is tied to the growth of the entire economy, not just one little corner of it. And finally, and this is a big one, it is just so much less stressful than trying to be a stock-picking genius. And that brings us right back to where we started, to our core idea. This is the whole thing right here. Instead of trying to find that one needle in a giant haystack, you just buy the whole haystack. You stop trying to find that one magic banana tree, and you just bet on the long-term growth of the entire jungle. Once you grasp this one simple analogy, it can totally change how you think about building wealth. It takes this world that seems so complex and intimidating, and it turns it into a strategy that's straightforward and, well, accessible. So the only question left is, are you ready to enter the jungle?